Guess I'm finally on.
So, this whole bake-off thing kind of came out of nowhere. Was it really sensible to just go along with it?
Well, I got a sense that she's holding something back. But we chefs always express ourselves in our cooking. So if she won't talk, this might be the best way to find out what's really going on with her.
Huh? Holding back? Sure didn't sound that way to Paimon.
Escoffier only picked up on it because she's the same way. Always closed off, never letting you know what she really thinks.
That's patently false, at least where your macarons are concerned. I've been nothing but truthful with you about the disgraceful amount of sugar you use.
Okay, that's one case where you can keep your thoughts to yourself.
Oh, that? Well, it's not so much a recipe book as a diary of Modeste's adventures. Back in the day, he and his good friend Savelli explored far and wide, partly adventuring, partly looking for new ingredients and developing new recipes. Their creations had an enormous influence on the course of Fontaine cuisine, turning it into a much more vibrant and diverse scene. For instance, legend has it that the original gâteau so rare was the ingredient that they could never make more than 16 slices of the cake per day. Modeste and Savelli went on to found the original Hôtel de Bourg, which catapulted them to stardom in Fontaine's culinary world. Especially Modeste. He was hailed as a once-in-a-generation genius, and over time, the recipes from his adventure log became known as the Codex de Bourg.
Ah, Paimon's heard this kind of story before. Armed with the Codex, the Hôtel de Bourg took its rightful place as the finest restaurant in the land, serving those recipes for centuries to come. Something like that?
What? No, of course not! Cooking is a constantly evolving art form. How could any restaurant survive if they only served food that was popular last century? Anyway, never mind centuries. Savelli and Modeste parted ways not even 10 years after their rise to fame. Then, Modeste passed away while he was still in his prime. And that was it. The end of the Hôtel de Bourg's heyday. It fell into decline, and for most of its history, it was just a nondescript place with a couple of cheap tables. It's only in recent decades that it started recovering. Even then, it still took numerous relocations and changes of management, before we finally ended up with nghiem and the restaurant we have today.
Oh! So the Codex really isn't all that, then. Paimon figured it was like one of those mystical books they have in Liyue's martial arts novels, where the main character learns all their secret powers from.
Yes, well, that's fiction, and this is reality. You can't meet the tastes of modern diners by following some ancient recipes from a dusty old book.
Case in point. Even the Gâteau de Bourg they sell now is actually Escoffier's reimagination.
Wait, really? Why, though? Didn't that recipe make it into the Codex?
It did, but like I said, it's the dusty old book now, and the records aren't as legible as they once were. Not to mention that there's no way of finding the secret ingredient Modest wrote about. So, reimagination is right. I consulted some historical records and took what I could from the Codex. But ultimately, the Gâteau de Bourg today is my own recipe. As for why we gave it the same name and kept the tradition of only selling 16 slices a day, well, you've got nghem's business sense to thank for that.
Oh! Huh. Well, that kind of takes all the mystique out of it.
Hey now, it might not be the original Gâteau de Bourg, but it's still the most delicious cake in Fontaine today. And who knows, maybe Escoffier's version is more suited to your palate. Just think, if the original truly was the perfect cake you're imagining it to be, there's no way the recipe would have been lost to history, right? Not to mention that the Hotel de Bourg never would have fallen into a slump.
Anyway, before I left my role as head chef, I made a copy of all the recipes from the Codex, including my own improved versions, and turned them over to Savannah.
So why is she so interested in the original copy? Could it be a symbolic thing? Like, whoever holds the original Codex de Bourg is the true head chef?
Well, it was clearly precious enough to give to Escoffier as a parting gift. Meanwhile, Savannah only got a copy. Maybe from her point of view, it's like management doesn't truly see her as being worthy of the role.
You think so? The only thing is, it was her suggestion to gift me the original in the first place. Well, a joint decision by her and nghiem. But still.
What? Huh. Guess she's had a major change of heart since she became head chef. Yeesh.
Who knows? We could speculate forever. Better to just let our gâteau do the talking. It means besting her in this bake-off, and then getting her to explain herself, even if I have to beat it out of her with a spatula. However much she's changed since we worked together, I believe that she still has her chef's pride. And if she respects the art, she'll respect the outcome of our contest.
Well, I'm confident that you and your spatula can get justice for Froment. All you need to do now is win the contest. But
let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Gâteau de... Now, if I had to push it, I could probably do...
Well, that's easy. The three of us are veterans in the kitchen. You just need to pick...
Well, I have heard the Traveler is an...
Oh, count me in too. Even if it means competing against the Traveler, so be it. I'll show you what I'm made of.
Confident. I like it. Alright, let's start with some elementary mise en place.
I've always called it chopping stuff up, not mise en place. But it's basically the same thing, right?
Oh, Navia. The difference in your case is that mise en place is chopping stuff up without sending juices flying all over the kitchen. Looks like you found that easier than I expected.
Yeah, thankfully it was pretty straightforward in the end. You made it sound like we'd be carving statues out of fruits or something.
Well, brace yourself, because the next step is anything but straightforward. A kind of special food processor I got the Fontaine Research Institute to make for me. It used... this isn't exactly standard kitchen equipment, so that probably didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Custom-made equipment from the Fontaine Research Institute, huh? That's some pretty high-tech food prep. Paimon's never used anything this weird before. Cool! Not weird.
And done. These are the flavor compounds extracted from our ingredients.
Wow! Even the smell is so much more concentrated. What next? Do we add all this stuff in?
Absolutely not! Throwing everything in at once will ruin the balance of flavors. We have to go slowly and carefully. I'll demonstrate again. Now, watch closely. Slowly and carefully. Not a drop too much, and not a drop too little. Yeah! That didn't count. I was experimenting. And voila! Now it's your turn. Not terrible. Considering this was everyone's first time blending flavor extracts, it could have been worse. But the Traveler's work was surprisingly good. Are you sure you've never done this before? You got almost... Oh, well, they do say adventurers. Alright, now for the part I've been looking forward to. I want each of you to cook something from the Hotel de Boer's current menu. I'll judge your submissions and give you a final score. That's right. The true test of your cooking skills is the finished product. It'll be good practice for the contest itself. Now get to it. Chop chop! How's it going? Have you picked it? Look at that! With the grace of a snow-winged goose as I...
Pretty good, right? Not to brag or anything, but Paimon's a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to la food.
6 points.
What? Oh, well, fair enough. Paimon doesn't cook all that often, so...
That's 6 out of 100.
What?
You say you're a connoisseur, but it's quite clear from this dish that you have far more experience consuming food than creating it. By that logic, I suppose you think listening to Lady Farina on repeat every day...
Aww.
Oh, me next! I'll have you know that this batch of macarons has 2 whole tablespoons less sugar than my previous ones.
So you went from 12 tablespoons to 10?
Aww.
Now to the final dish.
So, what do you think?
This is our last hope.
8 points.
Darn, that's barely higher than what we...
Not exactly. The color is spot on. Beautiful aroma. Excellent presentation. I have to give this one 8 points.
Huh? How did you pull that off?
Don't get me wrong. There's room for improvement. But still, this is clearly the work of an accomplished chef. I can tell that you've put many hours of work into honing your skills in the kitchen. I can really taste the grace of the snow-winged goose in this dish. The traveler's journey, with all its trials, tribulations, and setbacks. Not to mention...
Hey, you made that last part up! No way did you taste that!
Well, it looks like I lost fair and square.
But if it takes 3 chefs, that still leaves 1 slot remaining. Maybe Paimon...
Chef Escoffier.
Oh, it's Hilaire! What brings you here?
I heard the news about...
And you think you're up to the task, do you?
Oh, no, I know I'm not there yet. It's actually my dad who wanted to help.
Firma, last I heard, you could barely get out of bed.
Chef Escoffier, I've had enough of sitting around at home while you run yourselves ragged. If you let me...
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Don't you worry. The fact is, I'm a
Firma, have you even set foot in a kitchen since leaving Hotel de Boer?
I have not. But I'm fully rested now. But... Huh? That's strange. Why are my hands shaking?
What do you call this, Firma?
I can't seem to grip my...
Do it again! 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 Hopeless. Get out of my kitchen yesterday.
Dad, what's wrong?
I don't understand. I was feeling so much better, and then Will I never be able to work in a kitchen again?
Dad, talk to me. What happened?
I think the real issue here is not physical exhaustion, but psychological trauma.
Monica, when did you get?
Probably because you were all concentrating so hard on your cooking. I didn't want to interrupt your flow. But anyway, Firma, I'm so sorry.
You have nothing to apologize for, Monica. During those long nights of redoing every order, you were the only person who looked out for me.
Oh, come on. All I did was make you some tea. I doubt it was much help. Savannah was so ruthless toward you. I probably should have brought you something stronger.
She sounds like the worst. All right, another Savannah horror story. Let's hear it.
She's been getting harsher and harsher on us ever since she heard about Escoffier's new role in the Fleuve Cendre. Seems like no matter what we make, she'll find something wrong with it.
What is this? It looks like a dog's been at it! In the trash now!
Then she orders us to redo the dish again and again, but we never know what's going to make her happy.
Do it again, do it again, do it again!
Every time you remake it, you just get another earful from her.
Either straighten yourself out, or get out of my kitchen!
So now, it seems like just picking up a kitchen utensil gives me flashbacks of her yelling at me.
Oh man, that must be awful.
The more I want to get it perfect, the more my hands shake, and the more scared I am of making another mistake.
How can you give up so easily, Fiamma? You weren't a quitter when you... And even under Savannah, you talk about working late into the night trying to perfect your dishes. That says to me that you still hadn't lost that determination to prove yourself. What changed?
I don't know what's come over me. When I think back, I just remember feeling like my heart and my hands were growing heavier and heavier as the shift went on. Each time I had to redo a dish, my heart sank a little further. Maybe Savannah was right. Maybe I am just hopeless at this.
Dad.
I see. Well, it sounds like there are some deep issues at work here. Ones that won't be resolved by merely seeking compensation. I will win this contest, and after that, I encourage you to approach Savannah and talk this out.
But what if you can't find another assistant in time? Clearly, I'm in no state to help out.
You think being one person short will ruin my chances? Let's not forget, I taught you and her everything you know. Even if I had to go it alone, I would present the perfect gâteau.
Oh, well, Paimon and Nadia will still keep practicing, just in case.
And so will I.
Yeah! And if worse comes to worse, we can always get the Spina di Rosula to put out an emergency call for chefs. There's gotta be someone out there, right?
Actually, I thought maybe I could help. That's sort of why I'm here.
What? Why didn't you say so?
I was going to, but then... well, this is the first chance I got.
You do this for us? Thank you so much, Monica.
Alright, fine by me. But aren't you still working for Savannah? Joining the other side seems like a guaranteed way to put your future employment in jeopardy.
I know, but it's alright. I've made up my mind. With the way things are, I can't keep working for Savannah much longer anyway. Unless I want to become the next Firma. I'm done with sucking it up. It's time to try and turn things around. If this cooking contest can get Savannah to see the error of her ways, then I'm sure she'll forgive me for this.
Well, Paimon didn't think we'd be poaching from Savannah's staff to get our third person, but there you go. Anyway, Monica's a professional chef, so nothing could possibly go wrong now.
Great! Then it's settled. And to congratulate you all on making the team, I propose a Spina-sponsored meal to celebrate.
Spina sponsored? Wait, you mean I'm cooking?
Well, I promised the Traveler a feast in the Fleuve Cendre. And I know how much you've been looking forward to it.
Yeah! Feast, feast, feast!
Alright, if you insist, then prepare for some of the finest food of your lives. That's not a bad idea, actually. Wait, hold on. You need to finesse that further.
dream come true. Paimon never knew Fontanian cuisine could be this good.
Know of any new orchestral pieces? I like to swap out the background music in the kitchen once in a while. It's a great way to find new inspiration.
Yes, I'm finally on the right path. Yes, I'm finally on the right path. I guess I'm finally on the right path.
Even the most unassuming ingredients can produce astounding flavor. But unlocking that potential takes a keen sense of smell, a refined palate, and an open mind.
I guess I'm finally on the right path. I guess I'm finally on the right path.
An important part of cooking is making sure the ingredients absorb the flavors in the dish. To that end, a chef must be able to wield a knife with the same level of precision as a surgeon. Practice makes perfect.
I guess I'm finally on the right path.
Even the most unassuming ingredients can produce astounding flavor. But unlocking that potential takes a keen sense of smell, a refined palate, and an open mind.
I guess I'm finally on the right path.
Know of any new orchestral pieces? I like to swap out the background music in the kitchen once in a while. It's a great way to find new inspiration.
Finally on the right path. I guess I'm finally on the right path. Finally on the right path.
An important part of cooking is making sure the ingredients absorb the flavors in the dish. To that end, a chef must be able to wield a knife with the same level of precision as a surgeon. Practice makes perfect.
Finally on the right path. I guess I'm finally on the right path. Finally on the right path. Finally on the right path.
Even the most unassuming ingredients can produce astounding flavor. But unlocking that potential takes a keen sense of smell, a refined palate, and an open mind.
Finally on the right path.
An important part of cooking is making sure the ingredients absorb the flavors in the dish. To that end, a chef must be able to wield a knife with the same level of precision as a surgeon. Practice makes perfect.
Finally on the right path.
Even the most unassuming ingredients can produce astounding flavor. But unlocking that potential takes a keen sense of smell, a refined palate, and an open mind.
I guess I'm finally on the right path.
An important part of cooking is making sure the ingredients absorb the flavors in the dish. To that end, a chef must be able to wield a knife with the same level of precision as a surgeon. Practice makes perfect. Know of any new orchestral pieces? I like to swap out the background music in the kitchen once in a while. It's a great way to find new inspiration.
I guess I'm finally on the right path. I guess I'm finally on the right path. I guess I'm finally on the right path. I guess I'm finally on the right path.
Even the most unassuming ingredients can produce astounding flavor. But unlocking that potential takes a keen sense of smell, a refined palate, and an open mind.
I guess I'm finally on the right path. I guess I'm finally on the right path.
Why, Savannah? Why? Oh, nothing. I was just flicking through the original Codex de Boer. I wanted to see if there was anything I'm missing. Something I hadn't noticed before. But I can't find anything. It's just some hastily scribbled recipes, and the copy I gave her not only has all the recipes in full, but even includes my own private tips and notes from years of experience. Surely that's infinite. Yeah, maybe. Still, we were. At least I always thought we were. She was a little shy, but meticulous with everything and everyone she dealt with. She made a few mistakes here and there, but she was quick to correct them whenever they were pointed out. And she was always striving to improve as a chef. Those qualities are why I recommended her to replace me as head chef. I never imagined for 1 second that she'd cause phien and the other staff so much grief. Well, I mean to an extent, of course. I pushed... And the idea that she turned out like this because of me is... difficult to come to terms with. I wonder if this is how Modeste felt, back when he was writing the Codex. Yes, with his good friend and co-founder of the Hotel de Boer, Savelli. The story goes that after Modeste unveiled his Gâteau de Boer and was hailed as a culinary genius, he was admired and adored by all. But his newfound fame slowly drove him and Savelli apart. Unlike Modeste, whose every new creation was an instant hit, Savelli seemed to face setbacks every turn, and with Modeste being whisked off to all manner of functions by his celebrity friends, he had less and less time to discuss the culinary arts with Savelli. People started gossiping about Savelli, and their relationship between everything came to an abrupt end when Modeste, still in the and that was it. They neither had a decisive split, nor got the chance to one rumor had it that Savelli actually killed Modeste out of jealousy, even as the latter was hoping to make amends. Unlikely. It's a popular theory, but there's no real basis for it. At least there are no records of Savelli ever being convicted of a crime. Still, beyond a point, there's no way of knowing what truly happened in the past. All we can do is try to make sure the present doesn't quite go as badly. And that's why I have to win this contest tomorrow. Then get the truth about everything that's been going on, even if it means cracking her open like a nut. You're right about that. Just follow my lead and victory will be ours.
Ad Astra Abyssosk. What?
It's time to pull the trigger. Take it easy.
Witness my magnificence!
An important part of cooking is making sure the ingredients absorb the flavors in the dish. To that end, a chef must be able to wield a knife with the same level of precision as a surgeon. Practice makes perfect.
Sounds good to me.
Wind strike. Gah! Tja!
Leave me alone.
It's cooking contest day! To the Hotel de Bois!
Music in the...
Did you hear the news? Escoffier's coming back for a cooking contest!
Mesdames et messieurs, welcome one and all.
Savannah, I've brought the original copy of the codex you asked for.
Monica? Huh?
In the interests of fairness, this contest will be conducted in a double-blind format. Once the dishes are complete, they will be sent to the back of the kitchen where they'll each receive a label. The labels will be placed out of sight underneath the plates.
As one of the judges, I promise to be fair and impartial.
When my meal got interrupted yesterday, I never thought this is how they'd make it up.
Both contestants have taken their positions. Then, without further ado, let the Hotel de Bois cooking contest commence!
Monica, Traveler, it's go. Even the best chef in the world can't flavor their food without prepping the flavoring, right? Even the best chef in the world can't flavor their food without prepping the flavoring, right?
Alphonse! Gaspar! Get to work! Do not disappoint me!
Looks like our two head chefs are raring to go. Like an oven on full blast, this competition...
A dash of frosting! That should be enough flavoring. Now hurry up and balance the flavors.
Come on, Escoffier! Come on, Traveler! A little amuse-bouche!
Alphonse! What are you playing at? Not how I taught you to do!
The balance of flavors is about right, but the quantity is too low.
Yes?
So, what do you think?
A dash of frosting!
Escoffier is already on the final step of...
Enough! Useless! Both of you! Make like an egg and feed it! I'll do it!
Wow! Is Savannah serious? Can she really make up for lost time working alone?
Come, Escoffier. There has to be a way to balance the flavors. Just think. What are you doing, Escoffier? Your team's waiting on you.
You can't match Escoffier's talent.
I present to you Gâteau de Bourg.
The pinnacle of excellence!
I was just exercising caution. I had to make sure everything was perfect.
Time's up! Contestants, please take your dishes to the back.
Huh. That guy was right. You really can't tell whose is whose just by looking at them.
We both made the same dish after all. For all her flaws, Savannah's a talented
Whoa! This is really rather good.
Wonderfully soft and fluffy.
I would give this one at least 9.9 out of 10! Only because there's something about the flavor of the base. It's just a little different from the recipe I'm used to.
Huh? Really? I couldn't tell.
All right, on to gâteau number 2. I haven't had a single bite and all...
I have a feeling that this gâteau will be a gâteau for the ages.
How exciting! I'm gonna dig in. I think maybe...
Not just the sugar, it's the flavors too. This is all over the place. Who made this?
It appears the decision is you.
And Paimon thought this might actually be close.
Something's not right here. Savannah may not be perfect, but no.
I can now declare that the creator of the first...
What? It's... Savannah?
No! That's impossible!
Hey, Savannah! You cheated, didn't you? You cheater! What did you do? Oh, you swapped the plates, didn't you?
Well, someone's a sore loser. These cakes went from the oven to the... It was Van Gem's staff who labeled them in the kitchen. If you're looking to accuse someone, why don't you start with them? Isn't it more likely that Escoffier's lost her edge?
You take that,
Judges, we demand a rematch.
That's enough. What's done is done. As head chef, or rather as Savannah, I didn't think you'd stoop this low just to beat me in a bake-off. What happened to your chef's pride?
I don't know what you're talking about.
If you want the Codex de Boer that much, you can have it.
Escoffier, no!
But you must promise me that you'll apologize to Firma.
It's a little late to be negotiating terms. The contest is over and—
Look, Savannah, you may have fooled everyone else. But only on the condition that you promise to stop putting so much pressure on your staff.
Fine. So, will that be all, ex-head chef?
I didn't mean that to be a scolding from your former boss. Just a word of advice from a fellow chef and a friend. But I don't know if you're even open to—
I know what I'm doing. I don't need your advice.
All right, fine. I'm glad to hear it.
Escoffier?
The Codex de Boer.
Escoffier? How could you let her get away with this?
Yeah! The Codex is...
It's all right. It was just— Besides, it's not all bad. She agreed to compensate Firma. That's mission accomplished for the Spina. Honestly, if I'd have known that giving her the Codex would solve everything, I'd have just done that in the first place. I mean, why bother with the whole cooking contest? It's such a waste of time and energy.
No. No! This doesn't make any sense!
Huh?
That's it? No secrets, no nothing? I don't believe it! This can't be happening.
Oh, Chef Savannah!
Savannah?
It's nothing life-threatening. Just a lot of pent-up stress and exhaustion.
Oh, I knew it.
Pent-up stress?
The truth is, however hard she might be on the rest of us, the person she puts the most pressure on is herself.
Yes, there are nights when she makes us redo things over and over into the wee hours. She'll hide herself away in the kitchen, working on new techniques and recipes, and only realize how long she's been at it when we come to work the following morning.
But why? Why would she do that?
Our best guess is she doesn't want to be seen as less of a chef than Escoffier.
And there it is.
Even so, that's no excuse for taking her anger out.
Yeah, and it's definitely no excuse for cheating in the cooking contest.
About that, we honestly have no idea how—
Leone and Algalia were the ones I tasked with labeling the cakes. I've already spoken to them both.
Not to worry. Come on, join me downstairs. I'll interrogate the guilty gâteau.
Well, how is it? Have you figured out what it was?
Oh, this is aggravated assault on my palate. I'd rather eat wet cement than this.
Is it really that bad? I made sure to taste test it before it was served.
Oh, relax. This isn't your cake. Savannah never switched the plates. The offending flavors are coming from in between the icing and the cake base, which means someone tampered with it while it was being made. Or in other words, we have a traitor in our midst.
I'm sorry. I was forced into it. It was Chef Savannah. She said if I didn't cooperate, she would...
Calm down, Monica. I've already accepted defeat. And if I wanted retribution, I would have brought this up when the results were announced. Whatever's going on with you, just spill the beans. There's no need to hide it.
I was the one who caused the food safety incident that one time.
Food safety? Wait, you mean the loop?
I think so. Savannah and I were on procurement that day. I didn't check everything as well as I should have, and so I let contaminated ingredients make it into the kitchen. But I swear I didn't do it on purpose. I had no idea there was an issue with them, and I didn't know it would end up with Escoffier going to jail. But the last thing I expected was for Savannah to use it as leverage to blackmail me with...
This is crazy! So Savannah pressured you into sabotaging Escoffier's cake by threatening to expose your secret if you didn't?
I know, it's terrible. I'm so sorry. I was so scared. The thought of Chef Escoffier finding out that I put her in jail, it made me freeze up with fear. I thought Escoffier would hate my guts if she ever found out, and yet somehow that's ended up in me doing something even worse.
Seriously? All this fuss over a little slip-up?
Huh?
Firstly, it's not like I got a life sentence. I did my stint at the fortress, and now I'm out. And secondly, I had my own reasons for leaving the Hotel de Boer. This wasn't the only factor. So, you don't need to feel ashamed or frightened or anything like that.
You mean... you forgive me?
Oh, well, I'm not saying you should tell Van nghiem to mark down your performance for the past few months. Then...
understood.
Good. Now, back to Savannah. What about the original codex would compel her to resort to blackmail?
I have my suspicions.
Ugh. What happened to me?
I've overheard some customers murmuring about how the Hotel de Boer hasn't been the same since Escoffier left. They think our menu doesn't taste...
Now that you mention it, I noticed it during the contest too. But the difference was so small, I'm sure no one would know.
Still, as head chef, it's easy. So many times I've seen her make the cake base over and...
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Never really gave it much thought though.
Thinking back on it now, it's clear...
She wants to prove that she can fill Escoffier's shoes. That's gotta be the reason. But after countless setbacks, she's getting more and more. And at some point along the way, she switched from doubting herself to doubting Escoffier.
Doubting Escoffier? For what?
Yeah, it would explain why she was bent on getting the original. Also, she could retain her place as the #1 chef in Fontaine. The only one privy to all the secrets of the trade.
Oh, for goodness sake. What a stupid idea.
Of course. Then she finally got the codex, only to discover that the secret recipes she's been pining for don't exist at all. Seeing how utterly wrong she was must have been a real shock.
There's still one thing that doesn't... She might not be on the same level as Escoffier, but surely after like 50 attempts, she'd get it right one of those times.
You'd think so, but geniuses like Escoffier are in a league of their own.
New head chef, you say? What's her name? I don't think I've heard of her before.
I wonder, can the Hotel de Boer keep its...
This tastes different from last time. Is it undercooked or something?
Take this. It's a copy of the Codex de Boer. From now on, you will be its keeper. Don't listen to the doubters. If I say you can do it, then you can do it. Even if you don't believe in yourself, at least believe in me. Hey, did you hear me? Once I'm gone, the restaurant is all yours.
All this time, I've been blaming other people, but maybe...
I sincerely apologize for putting everyone out. Savannah's awake now. Let's give her the day to calm down.
In that case, I'll go and update for Ma and his family.
So, we'll come back tomorrow then.
Whew, that was a long day.
Oh, nice! Macarons? Or are you gonna switch it up this time?
Traveler, how much do you know about the snow-winged goose? Every year they migrate long distances in search of a suitable home. There's always one goose at the front whose job is to lead the flock. Fontaine poets often use the image of that goose to explore the ideas about. But what those poets don't know is that during a migration, once the lead goose shows signs of fatigue, it retreats to the back. So the truth is that leadership, with all the response, I guess what I'm saying is, I don't buy into this. Cooking is a science, not magic. Given the same, of course, some people have a more sensitive palate. I'd have no reason to expect so much from others if I believed that perfection can only come from the hands of a genius. The only reason I hold people to high standards is because, well, I believe they're capable of. Okay, and come tomorrow, I'll give her the scolding.
Why are we here so early? Our meeting with check on her? Why? What happened? Oh no. Escoffier, are you alright?
I'm fine. Just need to get... Huh? What happened to my coffee? Did I really drink it all? Alright. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Well, there's cooking facilities here. Or we could just grab a cup of coffee from Cafe Lutece, but either way, hurry!
When will Liddy and Lynette do another show?
Coffee. Need coffee. Strong, bitter coffee beans, transformed through expert brewing and balanced perfectly with rich, creamy steam. I feel much better now. Thank you so much, Traveler and Paimon.
Glad to hear it, but make sure to catch up on your sleep when you get...
I think I figured out where the...
Wait, what investigation?
I'll save it for when everyone else gets here. It's so stupidly small. Yes, except my failures were stepping stones to success.
Escoffier! Have you seen Savannah?
Huh? No, not since...
After seeing her home yesterday, we were all a little only to find an empty house. I left Alphonse and the others to keep watch at her. If she's not here, then where could she be?
Boss, Escoffier, bad news.
Alphonse? You're supposed to be keeping watch at Savannah's house.
We were, but then, just after you left, we found this stuff in her house.
Oh, looks like a map with a bunch of random places circled. What does it mean?
Wait a second. This feels familiar. I'm sure these places are all... Of course! From the Codex! They're all places that Modeste explored on his adventures. Yeah, but... I don't understand. The adventure logs in the Codex are too fragmented to be of any use. How come this map shows all the missing details?
The Codex de Bord? Then, this place marked in red out at sea. Could that be the fabled birthplace of Gâteau de Bord?
Seriously? So now she set her sights on finding the original recipe and beating Escoffier that way? Geez, Savannah. Anything to overcome a Gâteau plateau, huh?
Ugh, idiot! Does she have a death wish? Those ruins are thousands of years old.
Hold on, there's more. Besides the map, we also found these letters.
It was you. You let the Lumaline through, didn't you? It sounds like a threat letter. Does this mean that Savannah was responsible for the safety incident? And not Monica after all?
Retrieve the Codex by any means necessary. So the cooking contest and the cheating. Someone else was behind her pulling the strings?
She's keeping the true recipe to herself.
Ugh, this is all such a mess. Paimon needs a second to process this. First, we thought that Savannah forced Monica to cheat in the cooking contest. But now, it turns out...
You're finally here. Of course. I should have put two and two together as soon as I read your threat letter. The food safety incident, even the suggestion that Escoffier was keeping secrets from me. It was all part of your grand plan, wasn't it, Monica?
We should be getting close to the spot marked on the map.
Of all the stupid things she's done, this really takes the cake. The moment we find her, I'm gonna curse the living daylights out of her.